What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you hadn't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure that you hit that like button for me, please. That always helps out my algorithm.
President Bukele to help return the man who your administration says was
Which
mistakenly
one is that?
deported. The man who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador.
Well, let me ask Pam, would you answer that question?
Sure, President. First and foremost, he was illegally in our country. He had been illegally in our country. And in 2019, two courts, an immigration court and an appellate immigration court, ruled that he was a member of MS-13 and he was illegally in our country. Right now, it was additional paperwork had needed to be done. That's up to El Salvador if they want to return him. That's not up to us. The Supreme Court ruled, President, that if, as El Salvador wants to return him, this is international matters, foreign affairs, if they wanted to return him, we would facilitate it, meaning provide a plane.
So will you return him, President
And
Bukele?
you are doing a great job.
Thank you.
Pam.
President.
But Stephen Miller, wait a minute. Can you just also respond to that question? Because, it's asked by CNN.
Now, many people don't really like Stephen Miller by the way that he talks. But, I got to be honest with you. At first, I didn't like him. But when I hear him speak and the way that he talks about how the laws are and, the processes that they have and how things go, I actually respect him more because he does know what he's talking about. Now, you can say whatever you want to say about the man, but I actually think he's doing a good job. Now, some may disagree with me, but you don't have to actually like somebody to say that they're doing a good job because I actually think he is. He backs up Trump. He's not just blurting out anything. He's actually giving you proof and data and facts and an understanding of things and how they work, especially when it pertains to the government. So every time that they ask these questions about like this immigration issue, laws, and he actually spits it out to them how the law works, they really don't like him. It actually makes the media, the mainstream media, hate him even more and more.
And they always ask it with a slant because they're totally slanting because they don't know what's happening. That's why nobody's watching them. But would you answer that question also, please?
Yes, gladly. So, as Pam mentioned, there's an illegal alien from El Salvador. So, with respect to you, he's a citizen of El Salvador. So, it's very arrogant even for American media to suggest that we would even tell El Salvador how to handle their own citizens as a starting point. As two immigration courts found that he was a member of MS-13. When President Trump declared MS-13 to be a foreign terrorist organization, that meant that he was no longer eligible under federal law, which I'm sure you know, you're very familiar with the INA, that he was no longer eligible for any form of immigration relief in the United States. So he had a deportation order that was valid, which meant that under our law, he's not even allowed to be present in the United States and had to be returned because of the foreign terrorist designation. This issue was then, by a district court judge, completely inverted, and a district court judge tried to tell the administration that they had to kidnap a citizen of El Salvador and fly him back here. That issue was raised to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said the district court order was unlawful, and its main components were reversed 9-0 unanimously, stating clearly that neither Secretary of State nor the President could be compelled by anybody to forcibly retrieve a citizen of El Salvador from El Salvador, who again is a member of MS-13, which, as I'm sure you understand, little girls, murders women, murders children, is engaged in the most barbaric activities in the world, and I can promise you, if he was your neighbor, you would move right away.
So you don't plan
But
to
the
ask for
Supreme
anything
Court's
to get
asking
him back?
to.
And
that-
what was the ruling
that your
in the Supreme Court, Steve? Was it 9-0?
Yes, it was a 9-0
In our favor.
in our favor against the district court ruling, saying that no district court has the power to compel the foreign policy function of the United States. As Pam said, the ruling solely stated that if this individual at El Salvador's sole discretion was sent back to our country, that we could deport him a second time.
Well,
No version of this legally ends up with him ever living here because he is a citizen of El Salvador. That is the president of El Salvador. Your questions about it, per the court, can only be directed to him.
I asked
Usted lo
President
liberaría.
And that's why they don't like him. That's why they don't like him right there. That's why they don't like him. Because he actually gave them the facts. He's actually a citizen of El Salvador. And with him being labeled a terrorist, he can't be here. So, like he said, in any scenario, he can't be here. If they was to bring him back over here, then we could send him right back. With Trump designating that group as a terrorist organization, which they are. And what I don't get about the mainstream media and all of these liberals is, why do you want these people over here? Why is it such a big deal to see them in prison in El Salvador being treated the way they are? They're criminals. They terrorize those people in South America. Has it ever dawned on these people that maybe the reason they're being treated like that because the people of El Salvador are fed up with them? Not only that, that president already said earlier in the video, which I'm not going to show, but he said that the crime in that country has dramatically went down. So I'm pretty sure that the people of his country really appreciated not having to worry about just random shootings in the street, people getting killed behind drugs and all of these cartels. But yeah, we got people in this country who, well, are you going to bring them back? What are y'all doing to them? Are y'all hurting these people? Do you realize what they do? They are word little girls, just like he said, especially in these cartels, even the ones that bring these people across the border from Mexico. Don't you know what they do to some of those people? What was that ranch that they found across the border? Where I think they said the people couldn't afford to pay some of the coyotes and whatnot, so they killed them. They had bodies burnt and shoes and clothes everywhere. What is the deal with these people? And this is why people are tired of it. You see, the people in Chicago are sick of it. The black people. Just like Trump said, they aren't bringing their best. They're bringing crime. They're bringing terrorists. They're bringing people who essay little kids and women.
Can President Bukele weigh in on this? Do you plan to return him?
Well, I'm supposed to not suggesting that I smuggle a terrorist into the United States, right?
They totally
How can I smuggle? How can I return him to the United States? Like, I smuggle him into the United States, or what do I do? Of course, I'm not going to do it. It's like, I mean, the question is preposterous.
Even he understands that.
How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
Even he understands that. He said he doesn't have the power to return him, and he doesn't even want to. How about stop doing crimes and you wouldn't be in the position that you are? You know why I'm not bitching about going to jail and bitching about a cop beating on me? You know why? Because I got a job. I go do stuff. I don't do criminal activity. I have done criminal activity and have gotten in trouble for it. But those days are over with. Why would I keep doing that? I don't like being in the system. I don't like dealing with cops. I don't like going to jail. Does it dawn on some of these people that maybe I should just stop doing that? Doesn't it dawn on some of these people, maybe I should just go try to get a job and just live a normal life? Nothing's wrong with that. Does it ever dawn on these people, this type of stuff? They commit crimes, and now you have people who actually want the people who commit crimes to be treated nicely. Don't hurt these people. Let's get them back over here. Let's get them somewhere safe. They don't even offer you that same thing if they were to run up on you. They kill you. So make it make sense, because it doesn't make sense. These people are idiots. And if y'all think they idiots too, Leave it down in the comment section. Hey, if you don't, leave it down in the comment section. But make sure you hit the like button on this video and make sure that you subscribe to the channel. And I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.